Yo, welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, brother Guy, up back again with another preview of one Fight Night 37, which will be live this Saturday, the 8th of November at 4:30 South African time on my Championships YouTube page. And we also will be live for a watch along of that event. So stay tuned for that one. Welcome back. What can I say? It's been a week. Even though we were doing some content last week, it still felt like I wasn't really fully there. But I'm here now. I feel good. I feel fantastic, and yeah, looking forward to delivering some fantastic content for you guys for this week. Hope to get the engagement back again, and yeah, just looking forward to it. Like I said, we are going to be doing a preview of one championships, one Friday, excuse me, one fight night. Bring it up on screen. There we go. It's also in the ticker tape. And again, another fight card that's stacked from top to bottom. Every single fight in this fight card is just star-studded. Really, really amped to get involved in this one. So, yeah, let's do it. As always, we will start at the top of the card. But before I do so, please like, share, and subscribe. Give us your comments. Give us your thoughts. Put together a parlay. I'm gonna put together a parlay for you guys and leave it in the group. Leave it in the comments as well for you guys. But I'll also revisit that parlay again when we do the live a little bit later in the week. So yeah, get involved, get the banter going. For now, I'm gonna start with my breakdown from the beginning of the card. From the top, which is the main event, where we see again Roman Kryklia defending his heavyweight strap against Samet Agdeve from Turkey, and this is heavyweight kickboxing championship. So yeah, super stoked to see Kryklia got an opponent again. Obviously, his last fight wasn't really a fight. If we're being real, it wasn't really a matchup. But let me give you some numbers before I break down the X's and O's. Roman Kryklia, 34 years old, is current light heavyweight kickboxing champion as well as the heavyweight Muay Thai champion. So this is obviously for a vacant title. This bout. His record in one championship is 7 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contests. He's got 3 wins by KO, 3 wins by TKO, and he beat Lyndon Knowles by first round KO in his last fight, and that was just it was a bit terrible to watch, to be honest with you. It was, I won't say disgusting, but I don't think I want to see a fight like that again. It was too one-sided, and I'm hopeful that this fight doesn't go the same way, but could be exactly the same thing again. Samet Agdeve is 21 years old. He's making his one championship debut in this fight. His overall record outside of one championship is 17-0. So that's quite phenomenal at 21 years old already. He is the Senshi Grand Prix champion, the Waco World champion, the European champion. This is all kickboxing, by the way. His last 3 fights have all been completed by his last 3 of his last 4 fights have all ended in TKOs, and that was only in 2025. So frequent fighter. That may be a thing, it may be a factor in this fight that he's fought 4 fights already in 2025. Granted, they all ended in the first round. I think one of them have gone to the third round, and obviously another one has gone to decision. But it's a lot of fights in 1 year that could catch up to him. I know he's young, he's vibrant, and it could still be like, doesn't mean a thing to him in terms of how his body recovers. But yeah, don't be surprised come this weekend and then he only has 1 round in him. You know what I mean? Or he could get cracked by a punch, and we go, well, that could also be because he's been fighting so frequently. 4 training camps in the year already is a lot on someone's body. Okay, so in terms of X's and O's, who I think is going to win? Just watching the tape on Samet, I don't know if he's got the skill set right now to beat Roman Kryklia, other than maybe a punch. You know what I mean? But in terms of like skill for skill, experience for experience, height, pound for pound, everything, Roman Kryklia wins. Yeah, he's a taller fighter. He's got the highest skill set. He's got more bags of tricks that he can use. Overwhelmingly, the favorite when it comes to experience. I mean, he's got almost 15-year gap between the two guys. It's a big gap, and Roman Kryklia hasn't really slowed down at this age. If you watch his fights, he still looks phenomenal at the age that he's at. You know what I mean? And 34 years old, he's still fairly young for kickboxers. I just think he's the more superior fighter here. When I look at Samet's fight style right now, I watched a lot of tape on it now when I was doing my gathering of information for this fight and doing my notes and my research. I don't know. I don't like the style. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like the style. It's too boxing heavy. The guard gets split a lot when he throws his punches. I'm talking about Samet now. right? He goes in there and he just boxes, bang, 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 he just slugs it out, right? And I've seen him get tagged in those fights that he won. In those 4 fights in 125 so far, he's won 3 of them by KO, but he got tagged in those fights. Even the one where he went to decision, he was getting caught a lot in that fight, and that's because he doesn't really have a very good defense. He doesn't keep his guard up. He doesn't jab his way in. He doesn't look for angles. It's just aggression, all aggression, and just slugs it out. Now that may work. There's a good chance that he might catch Roman Kryklia with something when he does that going forward, right? Because he's creating chaos. He's creating the moment where, you know what I mean. It's like, I'm gonna come into you, I'm gonna punch you in the face. Now, what are you gonna do about it? He creates those moments. You know, it's chaotic moments. But I think Roman Kryklia is going to be too wise and too smart for that, in the sense of he will be defensively sound. He'll be able to get away from it because Kryklia does keep his guard up. Kryklia also works off the jabs, and he fakes a lot. He feints. That usually gets fighters to commit to something, and then next thing you know, you overextend, and then he catches you with something. You know what I mean? Kryklia is a sharp striker, guys. Super sharp striker. We don't see enough of it, right? But you can go watch the tapes of him, of what Kryklia fights like, and he's a very sharp striker. And I'll get into this when I do the One Championship media segment. But in terms of like kickboxers around the world right now at the heavyweight division, um, I wish that Roman Kryklia was able to fight against fighters from like Glory and K1 and them, because there's a lot of heavyweight guys in those divisions that I think would be a better test for Roman Kryklia other than Samet Agdeve. No offense to the guy, right? But I mean, he's still 21 years old. I don't understand why One Championship is giving Kryklia a bunch of nobodies, if you're being realistic. Lyndon Knowles is a big name historically, not necessarily right now. You know what I mean? And I think if One Championship doesn't give Roman Kryklia higher level opponents, right, we could see him leave the brand and go and compete with K1 and Glory and Rise Kickboxing. Again, I'll break that down a little bit later in another episode that I'll do for the media story. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I'm not super stoked on this One Champ, on these debutants that are still fairly fresh in their careers. You know, Samet is very young. He's only 21 years old, and yes, he's got some championships under his belt, but I don't think he's fought anyone with the caliber of Kryklia. I just don't see it, and Kryklia's gonna catch him. Kryklia can kick better than him. He's got much more intense reach. He's taller. He fights with that range really well. Powerful striker. So is Samet, but Samet, you can see that there's still levels for him to go. I think if Samet was maybe 5 to 6 years older and he's fought outside of Europe, I would say, okay, let's put that together. But he hasn't really left the pond from where he comes from. He's still fairly young, and again, his style, there's too many holes in his game, and I think fighting against someone like Roman Kryklia, he's gonna get caught. He's gonna get caught in a lot of those exchanges, especially when he's going so wild. I give him the first round. I give him that's his best chance to get the fight in his favor is that first round. But once it goes past that first round, I really don't see Summit getting in there. It's gonna slip away from him more and more the longer the fight goes on. I think Roman Kryklia just gets better and better as the fight goes on. You know what I mean? And he's recovered from knockdowns before. I think Kryklia is just an absolute beast right now. And yeah, I can't see a world where he's losing other than the first round in those wild exchanges. I think he can get caught there. I think he can get flipped by Agdeve in that first round exchanges. But I think that's it. That's his only opportunity. After that, I think he's pretty much fucked from there. I think Roman Kryklia is going to end him after that. So yeah, my pick is Roman Kryklia for the win. I do think he's going to finish the fight by stoppage. It's heavyweight kickboxing, not heavyweight MMA. Chances of getting KO'd is very high. So I got Roman Kryklia for the win, and to not retain the title, but to be a new heavyweight kickboxing champion. Back to having 2 titles again. And yeah, he's going to be the beast, bro. He's going to be the absolute beast. Give me your thoughts in the comments, please, chat. You know where that comment section is. Give me your thoughts on this one. How do you think who's going to win? I'd like to know the name. And then we can get some banter going. As always, I will put the link in the description to the Bookie Beatdown podcast. Go check them out. Those guys are really on point in terms of their picks. They've got a Discord server going along where they put together parlays as well for a lot of the One Championship fights. Have a look at it. It's really amazing stuff. And yeah, we'll keep it going from there. Keep the banter going from there. But for now, I'm gonna keep it moving to the co-main event. Probably one of the most exciting fights on this fight card, in my opinion. The one I'm looking forward to the most. Hopefully, none of these guys come Thursday that they all make good weight cuts. Nobody gets injured. Nobody's overweight. Healthy camps, and we can have these fights go according to what was advertised, right? But okay, let's go. Go main event, featherweight Muay Thai. We have Nico Carrillo back again, taking on the chef Luke Lessei. So we have the King of the North versus the chef. Let me give you some numbers before I break down this fight card. Nico Carrillo, 27 years old, 5 wins. This is Liquid One Championship now. 5 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He's got 2 wins by KO, 3 wins by TKO. He beat Sitachai by second round KO in his last fight. Luke Lessei, 29 years old. His record in One Championship is 2 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 1 win by TKO. And he beat Cody Jerome, who was on our platform, on our channel a couple of months, or about a month ago. We had Cody Jerome on our channel. Go check that interview out. He knocked out Cody Jerome, or TKO'd him in the first round in his last fight. All right, so who do I think is going to win here? Tough to say. tough to say. Let me start by pointing out keys to victory for Nico Carrillo and the keys to victory for Luke Lessei. So Nico Carrillo, what do we have here? Powerful dude, very powerful featherweight. I do believe that in this weight class he's a little bit matched. I don't think he's going to be able to overpower a lot of the guys in this division. I think when he was down at bantamweight, he was able to bully a lot of the guys. He was a lot bigger than them, more powerful than they are, punches harder than any one of those guys in that division. But then he got started getting outmatched because weight cut wise, he wasn't able to keep it up anymore. You could see in the fight against Nabil that the weight cut wasn't what he needed, what he wanted, and he was just getting outworked in that fight. Now that he's in featherweight, the weight cut isn't so heavy. He makes 155 pretty easily. However, everyone else in the weight class also makes 155 pretty easy. Some of them are even bigger than Nico Carrillo. So I think in this weight class here, he's definitely going to, in featherweight, he's definitely going to find that he's going to be matched in terms of size and power. But that doesn't mean he's going to be outgunned. Nico Carrillo is probably still going to be one of the hardest punchers in this division. Stylistically, he's dangerous because it's 4-ounce gloves and he's a heavy puncher. Right? Nico Carrillo doesn't really smash you with a lot of calf kicks, body kicks, or head kicks. Doesn't tip that much either. But he does put the legs out there every so now and then, more of like feelers, right? He feels his opponent. But we know what Nico Carrillo really wants to do is he wants to get into that void and he wants to stay there and he wants to just stand and gunfight through. We're just going to punch each other here. And I think he backs himself. And I think largely a lot of people back Nico Carrillo when it comes to a gunfight. Let's be honest here. I low-key also back him in when it comes to just straight up boxing in 4-ounce gloves. I think he smashes a lot of guys here. I think he can knock out Luke Lessei as well, right? However, Luke Lessei, I think he's the more polished striker. He's got more volume. He's got more weapons of choices. He's got better elbows when he gets in close than what Nico Carrillo does. He's the taller fighter. He utilizes low kicks and high kicks in a way that Nico Carrillo doesn't. Right? So keys to victory for Nico Carrillo. Get aggressive. Get in Luke's face. Stay there. Make it a gunfight. Don't be pretty. Just make it ugly. The whole time. I think the more he does that, the more he forces Luke Lessei to stay in box with him. I think Nico Carrillo wins this fight every single round. I think he can even finish Luke Lessei in the first round if he does that. I favor him. I think he's got more power as well than Luke Lessei. But he is one-dimensional. Right? It's a shitty thing to say. I know it's a shitty thing to say. But for a lack of a better term, Nico Carrillo he's a one-trick pony. Right? And, he's going to come, he's going to walk you down, and he's going to John Lineker your ass. He's going to put you back against the ropes, and he's going to just punch the shit out of you the whole time until he gets that KO. Right? I know I'm making it sound like it's just wishy-washy stuff, but it's still difficult to do that. And even though it's wishy-washy, try fighting Nico Carrillo. Ask anyone who's fought against him, they will tell you when he walks you down and he starts letting those hands go, you need to get away and get away quickly because he's going to put your lights out. I mean, knocking out Sitachai is not an easy thing to do. Sitachai is a high-level, top-class, world-class striker. Right? And Nico Carrillo walked through him like he was paperweight. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we need to put some respect on that. But as a fan that watches the sport very technically, and I break it down very technically, I even make notes per fight in my notebook, literally per round, what fighters are doing and what they aren't doing, right? And Nico Carrillo, he doesn't offer that many different things other than high pressure, lots of volume with that pressure, and powerful knockout punches, right? Luke Lessei, on the other hand, he's got a lot more weapons. If you watch his fights, yes, it's 2-2 in one championship, right? But he's fought against the who's who in that featherweight division. Here's the thing about Luke Lessei is that he's sharp. He's a very sharp striker. Watch the fight against Smoking Joe and against Pampara Kuyate. This dude, even though those are the ones he lost, watch him go there. Watch how he fights against high-level strikers. He's sharp going backwards. He'll catch you with elbows, whether he's going backwards or going forward. He might even time Nico Carrillo's darts and catch him with an elbow. And then what happens to Nico Carrillo then? You know what I'm saying? And we saw Nabil beat Nico Carrillo. Even while Nabil was going backwards, he was still tagging Nico. He was still catching him on shots, right? Because he was sharper. Yes, he had the higher reach, which in this fight, Luke Lessei will also have the higher reach here. He's also the taller fighter, right? Nabil was able to cut angles and tag Nico every time he did that. Nico didn't like any of it. He didn't like it. And that's how you beat that pressure, is that Nico's not going to walk you down and catch you with an elbow. He's going to walk you down and look for like a body-head combination. Luke Lessei can time that. He can time that entry with an upward elbow, keeping the guard up. He can keep his guard low and just catch an elbow and cut an angle. Right? He can play a very good defensive back foot kind of fighter, which I'll talk about again in our One Championship news segment when I'll break down back foot fighters, counter-striking fighters. Luke Lessei is good at that. And going forward, he's very crafty going forward as well. He doesn't just come forward and then starts to put a 1-2 on you. He would first chop your legs up. He might throw some front kicks out there. He might throw a jab, duck, right hand. He might throw a jab, low kick, and then another right hook. He throws different combinations. He will give Nico Carrillo many things to think about in the fight. Don't even talk about getting to the clinch. A lot of these guys that aren't from Thailand aren't really the greatest when it comes to clinch. But Luke Lessei can fight in the clinch. Right? Another avenue that he can take the fight into when Nico doesn't. So I'm breaking it down as it is, pros and cons of each fighter. On paper, Luke Lessei should be the better fighter here. Right? He's got more to give. He's got more weapons to throw out there. He's got the experience as well. Right? But like in football, when you play a local derby, all that quality gets thrown out the fucking window because now it's a brawl, bro. Doesn't matter how good you are. When it comes to derby day, doesn't matter how good you are, you can still lose the match. In this fight, same thing here. I can list all the good things that Luke Lessei does. And I do think he's the better fighter, hands down. But the leveler here is that 4-ounce gloves and the power punching of Curillo. That's the leveler for me. That's the equalizer when it comes to this fight. So, you asked me for a pick. I'm probably going to go Nico Carrillo. And the reason being is the power, the pressure. And when Luke Lessei gets put into a gunfight, he usually comes off second best. I've watched the fights where he gets put into gunfights with big fighters and he comes off second best. And when it comes to gunfights, I'm always going to favor Nico Carrillo. Not always, but I most likely will favor him because he has the advantages there. So I'm going to go Nico Carrillo for the win. But I say that very lightly because the chef is the chef. Bro. If anyone knows Luke Lessei, you will know that this guy is high level. It's not someone you mess around with. He's very crafty. He can catch you anywhere, but he can get tagged. I've seen him get... In fact, in all of his 4 fights in one championship, he's got dropped. He got dropped. He got knocked down in all 4 of his fights in one championship so far. Except for the one against Cody Jerome. I think the one against Cody Jerome, he finished it in the first round. But prior to that one, everyone else has landed on him and put him down on his bumps. So because of that, I think Nico Carrillo, if he catches him, the fight's over. Might not be an immediate KO, but it could lead to a TKO. Highly likely. So I got Nico Carrillo for the win. But it's a bit of a toss-up at the end of the day. It's still a pick-em fight regardless. And that is why I would like to ask you in the chat or the fans out there or the audiences, get involved in the comments. Prove me wrong. Or prove me right. But just give me your thoughts on these fights because, oh my gosh, this Fight Night 37 card is just a banger. We are getting a treat as One Championship fans. But okay, let's keep it moving to the next one. Let me just get my gong going. Right. Another banger. Another banger, people. Look at this. Are you mad? Next fight I'll talk about. Bantamweight Muay Thai. Top 5 contenders. Rambo taking on Abdullah Dayakaev. Let's go. Winner here is definitely making himself so much closer to that title contention, right? We got Rambo 22 years old. His record in one championship is 6 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest. Already has the contract. 2 wins by KO, 2 wins by TKO, 4-fight win streak. He beat Dmitry Koftin by second round TKO in his last fight. Abdullah Dayakaev. What a monster. 23 years old, one of the Mehdi fighters. Record in one championship is 8 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. 5 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO, 4-fight win streak, and he beat Nontachai by first round KO. Left hook knockout in his last fight. So who's going to win here? This is going to be a tricky one. Tricky one. And the reason being is because both young men have got exactly the kind of stuff that can put each other away. I do think Dayakaev is the sharper fighter. I do think he's got the volume, he's got the trickery, he's got the speed over Rambolek. But Rambolek's got the power. I just don't know he's got the style to beat Dayakaev. You know what I mean? The only fighter to beat Dayakaev so far is Yod IQ. And Yod IQ fights a very safe fight. A fight that is, I'm going to collect as much points as possible without getting KO'd. Right? That can be a little bit boring, but it wins fights. It wins fights, right? And I think that's how you beat Dayakaev. Everyone else that has tried to go in there and smash Dayakaev with knockouts got knocked out. And that's just the reality of the situation. So, some X's and O's for Rambolek. What can he do to beat someone like Dayakaev? Don't be hasty. Don't force the KO. Be very patient. Dayakaev is a sharp counter striker, whether he's going forward or backwards. He can counter extremely well. I think the height advantage may be Rambo. Not actually. I think the height might be Dayakaev. Let me just see here. Dayakaev is actually a monstrous bantamweight. He can technically be 155 quite easily. Yeah, he's the taller fighter. He's got the reach and speed advantage here. Absolute killer at the moment. Rambolek, I think he's going to have to fight the patient fight. Honestly, I think he's going to have to fight the patient fight. If he's smart, he can be the one that's the counter striker. A lot of people would think that if you put Dayakaev on the back foot and make him fight backwards, you get him. But that's actually not the case, because Dayakaev going backwards is still a phenomenal striker. He can still knock you out going backwards because of his spinning back shots, whether it's a kick or an elbow or fist. His counter left hook going backwards and forwards. He's one of the best counter left hooks you'll see, along with like Kiamran Nabati. Beautiful counter left hooks. Rambolek's gonna have to fight the fight. In my opinion, key to beat someone like Dayakaev is you have to fight like Japanese fighters here, and that is he's gonna have to attack the calves, attack the legs. Attack the stomach. You know what I mean? The sternum. The take away the base from Dayakaev. Because if you get into a boxing fight with him, 9 times out of 10, he's going to catch you with something, because he's a very sharp striker. He trains it all the time. But watch sparring fights with Nabila Nan and Dayakaev. Watch those fights. A lot of the times, Dayakaev wins those sparring matches. He catches Nabila Nan a lot of the times. And only when they're pure boxing, Dayakaev catches him every time. Right? So you don't want to mess with someone that trains like that a lot of the times. However, the way to beat fighters that's got very good footwork and very good counter striking is if you take away the base. If you attack the calves, you attack the stomach a lot of the times, what's going to happen is you're going to limit their movement, you're going to take away their stamina, and you're going to force them to do something. It's going to create forced reactions out of them. In tennis, they call it unforced errors. If you can do that to Dayakaev, you'll give you the targets. I promise you, you'll give you the targets. Fighters like that, because if you watch these Russian-based fighters, right, that's what they do. They're very safe until you start putting them in uncomfortable positions, right? You take away their legs, you take away their stomach. What's going to happen is in MMA they're going to force panic shoot on you. But watch Umar Nurmagomedov against Mario Batista. A lot of times they do that when they're not getting their way. They panic grapple. Now this isn't MMA. This is Muay Thai. Same thing's going to happen here. If you make it uncomfortable for them, right? What's going to happen is they're going to start getting on their bike. They're going to start rushing you down, put you in comfortable positions back because they don't want to be there. They're going to just fight back more aggressively. I think Rambo, and then that's when you can catch them with something heavy. right? Because Rambo is a powerful striker. He's got a lot of power in his boxing. He's got sharp elbows. He's got a good clinch game, right? He's got a good kicking game as well. But I think he's going to have to abandon the traditional Muay Thai techniques, in my opinion, in this fight here. And have to take the page out of the Japanese book, in my opinion. So for this fight, I'm him. I would say take up the back foot, pick it up, right? Don't be in a rush to try and knock him out because I think that's going to lead to his demise. So I think if Rambolik is taking up the back foot here and attack the legs, cough, cough, switch stance, cough, cough, counter, get out of the way, cough, start the deep, jab, use fundamentals, right? Then at Dayakaev, he's going to start pressuring and get forward. He's going to start getting aggressive. He's going to want to get that lick back. And that's when you can start countering with some heavy boxing combinations. Because then he will give you those targets. Because what happens is you're going to force him to be more offensive, which will lead to what? Abandoning the defense. And that's when you start catching him. Tricky fight for Rambolek. There's a lot of things that could go against him here. I do lightly favor Dayakaev in terms of picking him for the win. Because I do think, just like the chef Luke Lessei, I think Dayakaev has got a lot more weapons and tools that he could use to win this fight. He's the taller fighter, so he really has the advantage there. He's got the speed advantage as well. He's got the creativity advantage as well. So it's a very much an uphill battle for Rambolik. But he can get it done. He's just going to have to fight a very cerebral, patient, methodical kind of fight. He can't make it a gun, ugly fight. And you might go at first glance and say, put him on the back foot, rush him down, fuck him up, right? But we've seen fighters try that. Nontachai's style is based on forward momentum, pressure, and aggression. And Dayakaev put him out in the first round. So, you know what I mean? It's not that easy to fight against someone like Dayakaev like that. So I think it's going to have to be a different ball game. I think by keeping with the balls of your feet into the stomach, by attacking the calves aggressively, I think it's going to put Dayakaev in very uncomfortable positions, and that could really favor Rambolek. So anyway, all that being said, I'm still going to go with Abdallah Dayakaev for the win, purely because the momentum is on his side. Rambolek just came back. They were supposed to fight early in the year. Rambolek got injured due to a very terrible weight cut. And again, Thursday I will be doing a reaction to the high weight and hydration tests, because that's usually where it's the make or break for these fighters. That hydration test on Thursday will determine a lot of who I think will win come the Saturday morning. For now, I'm picking Dayakaev. Give me your thoughts. My biasness, deep down, I want Rambolek to absolutely ruin Dayakaev here. Deep down, if I'm gonna pick favoritism, biasness, completely just biased to all Rambolek, in my opinion. And that's only because I want to see Dayakaev lose. But logically, realistically, I just don't see it in this fight. It's a tricky fight for Dayakaev. He can get caught here by Rambolek. It's a highly possible. There's a possibility that could happen. But I just don't know. I just don't know if I can see it this weekend. I just don't know if I can see it right. I don't think Rambolek is the guy to beat Dayakaev. I just don't think he's the guy. Not now, at least. If they rematch 3 years from now, it'll be a different conversation, because they're still young. It's 23 and 22. They're both very, very young. They could be fighting again, and the circumstances could look different. You know what I mean? One of them could be a champion at that point when they fight maybe 2-3 years from now. But let's see. It's a long way away still. But right now, this weekend, I've got Abdallah Dayakaev for the win. You got a different opinion? Let me know in the comment section. Please chat while I keep it moving. All right. We've got some bantamweight MMA. I won't spend too much time on this one just because it's, a fairly fresh name to the brand in Alyshov, taking on Carlo Bumina from the Philippines. This is gonna be a fun fight. MMA. Albek was really good in his debut. I'm not gonna lie. I was quite impressed considering that the matchup that he had was a very, very intense matchup in terms of like ranked opponents. I mean, he got the top 5 opponent in his debut fight, right? So I'm gonna give you some numbers. Alyshov is 26 years old. His record in one is 1-0-0, 2 wins by sub. Obviously the one win was outside of one championship. He beat Jeremy Pakatu by second round sub in his last fight. So that says a lot about it. And it was a good fight, by the way. I mean, I thought he was going to get tired in the second round, but then he ended up becoming the aggressor and actually dominated the grappling exchanges. Carlo Bumina 31 years old, still fairly young in his career. Record in one championship is 7 wins, 1 loss, no contest. 2 wins by KO, 2 wins by TKO, 2 fight win streak, and he beat Maru Mastromarini by first round TKO, who's also on this fight card, by the way. Who do you think's gonna win here? I'm not so sure. I like Albek in terms of Albek in his aggression. Right, he's a very aggressive fighter. He can strike. He's not the smoothest, but he's got good, competent striking. Usually like a combat sambo kind of fighter. Bang, 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 boom, take you down. While you defending stuff, looking to get away from the punches, and then your hips are exposed, take you down. Right? He's very good at that. And he's got a good, strong grappling game. I mean, the way he was able to control Pakatiu in his last fight was really something to pay attention to, considering that he's new to the division, right? Carlo Bumina, on the other hand, he's another powerful dude. I mean, his last 2 fights were ended in TKOs, which is mad because he's not really a striker. He's primarily a grappler, right? If you look at his only loss was against Ink Ogle, who's going to be fighting for the title very, very soon, about a month away. He lost by sub in the 3rd round. Prior to that, he was on a massive streak again. I think 4-fight win streak, 5-fight winning streak. 4 of those 5 fights ended in submissions. In finishes, 3 subs, 2 knockouts. So I think that Albek is going to be facing a very fantastic finisher here. I mean, Carlo Bumina, I think he's the stronger fighter. He's got the more experience, right? So I just wonder what is Albek Alyshov's going to do when he realizes that the grappling isn't really going to be in his favor, right? Is he going to stand and bang? Is he going to strike with Carlo Bumina? And even in that department there, he may have the speed over Carlo, but does he have the power to put him away? Possibly. But I think Bumina is a dangerous fighter in all around aspects of MMA. If you want to wrestle with him, he's probably going to be appreciative of that because that's where he favors the fight, right? To take you down and submit you. If you want to strike with him, it may bring the fight into a more level playing field. But I still think Bumina has got the power to put him away. However, Bumina isn't as fast. You watch Albek Alyshov's fight against Pakatiu, he was able to really work that strikes, put the jab, boom, overhand. Then he would slip stuff and he'll shoot for takedowns. He was really dominating those 2 rounds over Jeremy. I'm going to go with experience here, right? I think the only way I can see Albek beating Bumina in this fight is if he keeps it standing and he actually cracks Carlo, like rocks him pretty badly with it, goes for a TKO finish, who then takes him down and looks for a submission there. But that's that one scenario. I think overall, the fight, whether it's 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round, or whether it's a scrap in the 1st round or a 3-round decision, I think Bumina has got the know-how and the wit and the grit to actually win that fight in all those avenues. So I'm gonna go Carlo Bumina. Experience, power, equivalent striking, better submission game. I'm gonna have to go with him. I will give Albek the youth. You know what I mean? The stamina. That could be the key thing to actually carry him through this fight. I think that might be a pick 'em. I don't know what the odds look like. I haven't checked them yet, but I think that might be a pick 'em there. But I'm gonna go Carlo Bumina for the win. Give me your thoughts in the comments, please, ladies and gentlemen, while I keep it moving. I look at this one. I look at this fight. Are you mad? What a treat. What a treat that we're getting for one fight night 37. We have flyweight Muay Thai Suablack taking on Johan Estupinan, one half of the Estupinan twins. Some numbers. Again, I was talking about Luke Lessei and Nico Carrillo, potential fight of the night. This is another fight that could be easily fight of the night here. Even the Rambo like Suablack. Like, what the hell, guys? We just getting a lot of potential fight of the nights here. Suablack, 29 years old, still very young actually. Record in one championship, 8 wins, 3 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 3 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO, 2-fight win streak. He beat Seksan by unanimous decision in his last fight, the man who heals to no one. Johan Estupinan, 23 years old. He's the one that's a little bit more experienced in brand. Other brother Jordan, it's only I think like 3 fights or something like that. Johan Estupinan is 23 years old. Pardon me. His record in one championship is 5 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He's got 2 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO. He lost to Taiki Naito by majority decision in his last fight. He was on a 5-fight win streak before that one. Looked really good up until that point. I mean, even the fight against Naito, he went toe-to-toe with him, but I mean, Taiki caught him with a good knockdown and was able to survive the third round really well, you know? So, yeah, who do I think is going to win this fight? I mean, Suablack's been looking great since he's moved down to flyweight, since he's been able to make that weight cut. His last two performances look like someone that, like, you can see a clear goal now. I don't know if that makes sense. It looks like Suablack is able to, he can see himself as a champion. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can see myself being a champion in this division. And maybe that's the thing that's proven. He seems more loved also. And I think that's showcased in the way that he fights. He looks brilliant in his last couple of performances. Can he beat Estupinan? I think so. I think he needs to be very careful. Estupinan is super fast. He loves to create chaos. He loves to do a lot of spinning stuff, and I think that's where he can catch Suablack. I think the more the fight stays traditional, I think Suablack is gonna, take control of the fight. I think what Estupinan's gonna have to do is do what he does in a lot of fights, and that is stay on the front foot, stay on his bike, keep going, lots of movement, lots of funny push kicks, spin kicks, low kicks, and creating that chaos, making Suablack fight hard. You know what I mean? Suablack is not the sharpest counter striker. He's a very good striker going forward. Suablack going forward is difficult to do to stop. But I mean, making him fight on the back foot, you can catch him. You can definitely catch Suablack because his counter striking is not like. I think counter striking that's phenomenal, right? You can look at fighters like Dayakaev, Gulazade, Nong O. Fighters that fight backwards and they just look super, super clean going backwards. Stonrak is another example. Much as I think his fight style is a little bit boring. I know he got a KO in his last fight, but primarily he fights a kind of fight style where he's prepared to just counter strike. He's prepared to walk backwards and counter strike you. And the reason for that is because he knows going backwards, I'm spending less energy, right? And I'm timing you. And he's just using timing and footwork, which is a very good weapon. It's good weapons to use in a fight is timing and counter striking. Because then if you time someone's commitment and they miss that commitment based on your timing, it's basically a one-shot kill right there. Like you open up the one-shot kill, bullseye, fight's over. I don't know if Estupinan's on that level. You know what I mean? I don't know if Estupinan's the same kind of counter striker going backwards as well. So Suablack keys to victory is to actually just meet Johan in the middle, right? Go toe to toe with him, catch him hard. I think he's got the power over Estupinan, and you'll get him out of there. One thing about Johan is that he's not going to fight backwards. He doesn't like it. In both the Estupinan brothers, maybe more Jordan. He's a bit more comfortable on the counter striking part. But Johan is a very aggressive, high pace kind of fighter. Doesn't want to go backwards. He hates going backwards. So he's going to keep pressing, which will make him a bit more susceptible to getting hit. Just like if you watch the Taiki Naito fight. Taiki Naito fought backwards in the, I think, the first and third round, right? The round where he got the knockdown, which in the second round, he met Estupinan in the middle. He's like, I'm actually going to go forward and strike with you. And he caught him. Right? The moment when he decided to actually fight Jordan pace for pace, he caught him. Right? A lot of times when Johan was beating people in that 5-fight win streak was because he was creating chaos going forward, doing wild shit, spinning, just making it uncomfortable for his opponent, and it forced him into getting into strikes where they don't want to be, and that led to them getting caught with some heavy stuff. I think Suablack is a bit smarter than that. I think he's able to really keep his guard up now. I think Suablack maybe 5 fights ago would have got caught in those kind of brawls and actually get knocked out. I think Suablack now is a little bit more defensive. He's a smarter fighter, and I think that's going to be the keys to his victory. Is to fight relaxed, fight patient, be smart. Don't get caught into the antics, because that's one thing that Johan does really well. Is create antics where you get caught up in the fan service of the fight, and the next thing you know, you're losing focus of what the game plan is. I think Suablack just needs to use his experience here. Fight the way he's been fighting in his last couple of fights. Aggression, controlled chaos, good defensive unit, keep your guard up. He's just getting tagged a lot before this. I think he wins the fight. I'm going to go with Suablack for the win here. I think the momentum is on his side. Estupinan just coming out from a loss. I think his fight style has been exposed by fighting someone like Taiki Naito, who's a very high level striker. And so we saw Black. I think he's going to be able to get Johan out of there because Johan will show his targets to him by being the aggressor. He will show that he will relinquish his defense, and Suablack will find it and will be able to catch him with it. I got Suablack for the win, yeah. I like Johan Estupinan. I think he's absolutely fun, and he can win, bro. He can easily win this fight. He can go there and he can cakewalk Suablack. That's a possibility that can really happen. But not this Suablack, not now, not the momentum that he's on right now. He just looks like he's in a different headspace, and he looks very dangerous. So I got Suablack for the win. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, please, chat. I know that I spoke to Anonymous Poetan about this fight about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and you were saying that he's got the Estupinan for the win. But that's only because he's a big fan of the twins. I just think realistically, Suablack is the more polished striker between the two guys. But give me your thoughts, guys. I know I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep it moving. Hey, where's my gong? What's going on here? What's going on? Sorry about that, guys. Timo just glitched out. That was silly. Okay, let's keep it moving. You guys know what my breakdown was in that one. We'll keep it moving. Let's go. All right, we've got some flyweight MMA. This is a massive fight here. Abasbek Kumirzaev got his contract in his last fight after beating Tatsumi Tsuwara. This is his first fight as a contracted fighter, and he's taken on a UFC a one championship debutant, and current EFC flyweight champion fighting out of South Africa, Willie van Rooyen. This is gonna be a mad fight. I'm telling you now, guys. Now, I'm a big fan of Abasbek Kumirzaev. I thought about this dude a lot. I've watched all his fights in one championship. I was saying he's a fighter that could really go into UFC and dominate the 125-pound division. Maybe even fight in 135 as well. Top fighter. But now he's taking on someone that's from South Africa. I mean, that's where we're from. The fighting with friends is from South Africa. And this might be a fight where Kumirzaev will probably get exposed here, guys. Let's go through some numbers. Kumirzaev, 24 years old. His record in one championship is 7 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. 2 wins by KO, 4 wins by sub. He's on a 4-fight win streak at the moment. He beat Tatsumi Tsuwara by unanimous decision in his last fight. Willie van Rooyen is 23 years old, and this is his one championship debut. Like I said, former or current UFC flyweight champion. I think he relinquished the title to come here. His record as a professional fighter is 7 wins, 0 losses, 0 no contest, 4 wins by TKO. He's an absolute stud, phenomenal striker on the front foot. Can switch stances, can grapple. He's just an all-round stud, and just like DDP. Chris Du Plessis, he's coming out of South Africa as a fighter that's pretty much beat everybody, and just gone on a fantastic streak. Just too dominant for the pool that he's in right now, and I think that's why he's expanding and leaving the country, or at least leaving the local scene, which I find phenomenal. I wish him all the best. He was supposed to fight against Tumelo Mananya. What's his name? Tumelo. Let me just see. Van Rooyen Manyan Mala was supposed to fight him, who was also in the UFC, or at least in the Tumelo Manyamala from Cape Town. Yeah, he was supposed to fight Tumelo. I think the fight got cancelled, and Tumelo fought somebody else as a replacement fighter. But anyway, I'm saying all these things to kind of give you the profile of Willie, what you expect here. And I think there's this is the one debut fighter on the fight card that I would go, yeah, I don't think this is going to be an easy fight for Murzaev. I think he's going to get tested here. But he's a top wrestler and striker. And I think I actually don't know who to pick. I don't know who to pick. I want to go with Willie because I'm South African, right? But I also understand how phenomenal Abasbek really is. Look at that fight against Tatsumi Tsuwada, who was a former title challenger, former champion. Went toe to toe with Mighty Mouse. That Abasbek basically frightened him in that fight. He basically bullied him. And in fact, if there was no ropes, if they fought in the cage, I think Murzaev would have KO'd him in the first round. Deadly fighter. Fantastic striking. Just world-class grappling. Young, humble, top fighter. I think Vali's got his hands full here, as well as Abasbek. I'm going to toss the coin. I don't know. I'm not going to give a pick for this one. This is the one fight on the fight card I'm not going to pick. I'm going to leave it as it is. Just excited to see high-level fighters go up against each other. So let's go. But you guys can tell me your thoughts on that one in the comments. Please. Because I just can't. For the life of me, I can't give a pick there. But let's keep it moving to the next part. All right, some more flyweight MMA. We have the return of Lito Adiwang taking on Maru Mastromarini. Where is he from? Argentina. Why is nothing loading? What the hell, guys? Come on. Yeah, load. Okay, here we go. Some numbers for this fight. Lito Adiwang, 32 years old, out of the Philippines. The record in one championship is 9 wins, 4 losses, 0 no contest, 1 win by KO, 3 wins by TKO, 1 win by sub. He lost to Kaito Yamakita by unanimous decision in his last fight. That was a good fight, by the way. I thought he actually won it, but okay. We're here now. Mario Mastromarini is 27 years old. Mastromarini, there we go. He's 27 years old. His record in one championship is 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He lost to Carlo Bumina. And another Philippine fighter he'll be taking on back to back. That fight he got TKO'd pretty badly. Who I think is gonna win here? I don't know. Little Adiwang is a good fighter, but he's sort of like gone down. He hasn't really been able to get back into the top 5. He's obviously powerful. He's got a lot of speed, got good grappling, but sometimes he kind of like stalemates fights and he doesn't really get the power punching going. Sometimes he ends up grappling when he should be striking, and then he strikes where he should be grappling. You know what I mean? And I think that used to lead him to losing fights. People are able to take him down and they hold him there, just like Kaito Yamakita was able to do. He's been struggling to get. He beat Daniel Williams, he beat Jeremy Maido, and he beat Adrian Mateus. That was his last 3 wins. But I mean, he also had 3 losses. Jared Brooks, Jeremy Maido, Kaito Yamakita, Hiroba Minowa. Those guys were all able to beat him because they were able to outstrike it, able to outgrapple him and put him on his back and submit him quite easily. Still a very good fighter regardless. I still think he's got like dangerous weapons. He's got speed and power. Mario on the other hand, I don't know what to make of this guy because he didn't really have a chance to showcase any of his weapons when he fought against Carlo Bumina. Carlo was able to beat him within 2 minutes, outstrike him within 2 minutes. So I don't even know what his game plan is. Is he a wrestler? Is he a striker? Like, what is this guy's level of skill set? He could still win this fight. You know what I mean? He's taking on Lito that needs the momentum at the moment. You know what I mean? He needs to get back into a winning column and also stay winning, not this 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss situation. I'm gonna pick Lito Adiwang. I've never really picked against him in any of his fights, so I'm gonna pick him again. But of course, you can get out grappled here. And that if Mario Mastromani takes him down, Marini takes him down early, then I think Lito's gonna lose the fight. As soon as someone's able to grapple him, they're gonna out grapple him, right? If Lito is able to defend takedowns, and take people down in his will, strike at his distance, Lito is dangerous there. Yeah, he wins a lot of fights. So let's see. I'm only picking him because Mario hasn't shown me anything just yet. But dude, look, I'm not gonna put it on my parlay though. But I'm gonna pick Lito Adiwang anyway because I must give you guys a pick in the preview, right? But we'll keep it moving. Give me your thoughts while I keep it moving. Yes, up next we have Nakrob taking on Taiki Naito. This is obviously a late replacement. Taiki Naito is filling in for Jacob Smith, and Jacob Smith pulled out of the fight due to some injury. Not too sure what had happened there. Might not even be injured. I can't remember what the reason was, but I know that that was supposed to be the initial fight. I'm not upset about this fight though. I think this is a very good fight. I think Nakrob can still win it. Um, Let's see what happens here. Nakrob, 27 years old. Record in one championship is 10 wins, 3 losses, 0 no contest. 3 wins by KO, 2 wins by TKO. Lost to Zhao Suyai by first round, head KO in his last fight. Taiki Naito, on the other hand, 29 years old. Record in one championship is 8 wins, 6 losses, 0 no contest. 1 win by TKO. He beat Johan Estupinan by a majority decision in his last fight. Looked really good in that fight. That was for the first time I saw Taiki Naito actually sit down in his punches and knock someone down. He normally wins fights with, outclassing them, outstriking them, defensively staying safe, not really getting tagged by anything, and just winning on decision the whole time. Just decision, decision, decision. Doesn't really sit down on his punches and actually commit. That fight against Johan, there was moments in that fight where he actually just like stopped his movement and sat down on the punch and was like, and committed full power, and it actually got him the knockdown. So I think he can do that in this fight. I think Nakrob is gonna. I think he's more powerful. He's got way more power than Taiki Naito, but he's also got way less speed, way less volume as well than Taiki Naito. Fight on the outside, Taiki wins this fight again over 3 rounds. I think Taiki can be defensively safe and wins this fight. I'm gonna go Taiki Naito for the win, just because I think Nakrob is stronger. I think he can catch him and knock him out. Really, I really think that's a good possibility for Nakrob. But can he catch Taiki Naito? That's the thing. Johan Estupinan is a lot faster than Nakrob, a lot more volume, a lot more crafty and trickier to fight against. And Taiki Naito was able to match him and actually slow Estupinan down, actually counter him and get him in shots where Estupinan can't catch him. You know what I mean? So Taiki Naito is a very experienced fighter, and he's got probably, arguably, one of the best manuals now to fight people. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? He's been there with the most elite possible fighters in this division, right? And yes, he lost to them, but it also taught him a lot. He's got outside of the elite of the guys, he's beaten everybody else. Like Naito has literally beaten everybody else. His game plan against everybody else is phenomenal. So I think he's going to win this fight on decision. I don't know if Nakrob's going to be able to be fast enough to actually catch Taiki Naito. I just don't see it. However, Nakrob is powerful, and there can be a moment where it just takes one knockdown. Just one. Nakrob can be losing round 1. He can lose round 2, right? Because I don't think Naito is going to be able to knock him down. But then they get into the 3rd round, and they can lose the whole of that 3rd round until that last 10 seconds, and Nakrob can catch Taiki with an elbow. Changes everything of the fight. So that chance is always there, but I've got Taiki Naito for the win because I think he's, again, more experienced, more polished, defensively better. Doesn't have the same power, but his volume is higher and he will be able to land more significantly. He's got a very good landing percentage as well. So I've got Taiki Naito to win by decision here. I think he's too smart and too defensively okay to be able to stay away from Nakrob's power shots. Let's go. Give me your thoughts in the comments, please, ladies and gentlemen, while I keep moving to the last one. Up next, or the opening fight of the fight card, we have Roni taking on Gilbert Nakatani in what weight class is this? Flyweight MMA. Just a lot of flyweight MMA fights here, guys. Why can't I don't know what's going on here, but like nothing seems to be loading here. And anyway, all right, here we go. Ah, man, what's going on here, bro? Okay, let's get into some numbers for this fight. We got experience versus experience. All right, So, Gilbert Nakatani fighting out of the US flyweight MMA, 32 years old, record in one championship, 0 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contest. He lost to Jeremy Miyato by unanimous decision. That's just how it goes, dude. In fact, he had 2 fights, Jeremy Miyato and Yuya Wakamatsu, and he lost to both of them. You know what I mean? It's high level guys. Eko Roni Saputra, 34 years old, record in one championship, 7 wins, 4 losses, 1 win by KO, 6 wins by sub, 3 fight losing streak. He lost to Sanzar Zakirov by second round KO in his last fight. In fact, those 3 losses were up against Sanzar Zakirov, Yu Yong, and Danny Kinghead. Right? 2 of them are top 5 contenders. Yu Yong, who knocked him out. I'm not too sure what to make of that. But okay, this is going to be a fight where we have a grappler versus like a well-rounded fighter. Ikarani is obviously the superior grappler. He's taken on a Gilbert who is well-rounded. He's got very good boxing, good takedown defense. He can also wrestle if he needs to. He's just a very good, well-rounded fighter. He's not like superior in anything in particular, but he can do everything really well, and I think that makes him quite dangerous. Actually. Whereas Ekorani, it's kind of like you know what he's going to do. He's going to try and strike with you in the first couple of moments of the fight, maybe in the first 2 minutes or so. But then you know what he's going to want to do. He's going to want to take you down. He's going to submit you. That's his buzz. He wants to get the submissions. I don't know. He wasn't even able to do it. He might get Gilbert down in the first round. He might dominate that first round, right? But then I think Gilbert, if he doesn't tap Gilbert out in that first round or finish him in that first round, I think Gilbert will get back up to his feet. And I favor him with the stamina. And I think in a fight, when it comes to MMA, the fighter with the better gas tank usually wins. So I got Gilbert for the win here. I think he can see if he can survive this first round. I think second and third round, he can start piecing up Ikarani. He'll be tired and he'll be there to hit, and he'll be able to start landing his bombs and maybe even get a finish. Hard to say if he will get the finish, but you can create those possibilities. I think the highest outcome for Gilbert Nakatani would be 3 rounds decision. Dominating the round 2 and dominating the round 3. I don't know if he can get Ikarani out of there in the first round. That's because I think Ikarani will beat him there. He can even KO Ikarani. There's a chance that he could do it. Ikarani has slowed down significantly, guys. Significantly slowed down. Doesn't have the same pop in his shots. Doesn't have the same speed in his takedowns. The threat's always there when he does get you down. You can always tap you out pretty easily, but Gilbert is just too defensively okay. He's able to survive Yuya Wakamatsu. So, you know, I've got Ikarani for the win here. But okay, give me your thoughts in the comments. Like, subscribe, share. You know, let everybody know we are popping off at one championship. Yeah, for fighting with friends. But that is my time, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, this is one Fight Night 37. Roman Kryklia taking on Agdeve, Samet Agdeve. This is going to be live 8th of November at 4 a.m. South African time on YouTube. We'll be live for that as well. Hope to see you all there. What else can you expect for the week? We have one championship news segment that will come out a little bit later today. And then we also have the UFC Fight Night preview, which will be on Wednesday. I know we didn't do one last week. The card was just absolutely shit for me. I just wasn't prepared to get up for that one. But I believe there was some good fights in that fight card regardless. But I will release a preview for you guys tomorrow for that UFC fight card. May not do the live. Actually, we won't do the live for the UFC, but we'll release the preview. Thursday, obviously, as usual, preview for the One Friday Fights 132. Also, a reaction to the Fight Night 37 hydration and weigh-in. And on Friday, we'll be live at 2 South African time for One Friday Fights 132, and then live the following morning for this fight card, as you can see on screen, for Fight Night 37. But on that note, from myself and the rest of the Fighting with Friends team, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Cheers, everybody.